Well, here we go, man. Welcome to the Bullshitters podcast. This is the Daily Bullshitters, and I'm Morgan, and I got a buddy Aiden here. If he wants to speak up loud enough to hear him.
What's up?
So anyway, figured we'd just do this podcast today, and hopefully we get some views and some comments, because we still ain't got comments on our shit yet, so it is what it is. But anyway, so Aiden, man, I just figured we'd get together today, and I got a little topic I'd like to speak a little bit about, and that's like our jobs in Ohio alone. Just, you know what I mean, like touch on that a little bit, because I've been looking for a job lately, and granted, I haven't been hired.
So am
Do what?
I. So am I.
Right on. And I haven't been hired due to, yes, I'm a felon, and I've talked about it on here before. Something that happened 2 years ago is holding me back from jobs now. And I never thought that would really happen. So, needless to say, I was looking at, statistics, and our unemployment rate is as of March was 4.8%. All right. That's not a bad unemployment rate according to, the Ohio unemployment, whatever. And it's, and it says, but the unemployed people in Ohio right now, as of March, was 283,000. So if there's 283,000 people unemployed, and the insurance claims are 54,000. So there's 54,000 people applying for unemployment out of 283,000 unemployed people. So that's 30 something, or that'd be what, 54,000 from 283 would be like 230 something thousand unemployed people just not even applying for fucking benefits. So I got to looking, and the worst unemployment rate was in Nevada at 5.7%. South Dakota has the lowest unemployment at 1.8% compared to us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So then I kept looking on, and this place called Haryana, H-R-Y-A-N-A. I don't know where that is or who that is, but it said they had the highest at 37.4%. And then Odisha, O-D-I-S-H-A, they had the lowest at 0.9%. That must be a hell of a place to have to work, because apparently
not a lot of people there.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know the population, nothing like that. I'm just reading what got brought up when I looked up.
I mean, if it's that low, either they're low population or the people really just don't get fired.
Yeah, they got jobs, enough jobs to keep their population good. So then I was looking, and it says for Mississippi, they pay the least amount per week. Okay, they pay $235 per week. Alabama, Louisiana, and Florida pay $275 a week, and Arizona and Missouri pay $320 a week. So like me, I was making $290 a week or whatever, but then with taxes coming out, I made $250 a week. So I was in the middle of that, right? And it said Florida, they only cover 12 weeks of unemployment. So if you get a job and get fired from it in Florida, they only pay you unemployment for 12 weeks. Okay, that's the least in our country. Because I know, me, I think I got it for 26 weeks. And I know in order to apply for unemployment, you got to have a job for 26 weeks. Some employment, you got to at least be employed for 26 weeks. So I think that's what they pay for, is however many weeks, Anyway, I got to reading on, and it says China, listen to this, China, the urban employment, which is people like us, it says as of 3 of 25, they had 5.2%, closer to 5.4% unemployment. The ages 16 to 24, because they count that separate, is 16.5%. So that's pretty high unemployment. But China's got millions of people. So what I'm saying is, like, if you go on further, it says Massachusetts, they paid an average of $508 a week. That's way more than what we pay. You know what I mean? Our unemployment pays. And Louisiana paid an average of $186 per week. So that's lower, but that's about average, okay, for them places. And then I looked on total jobs in Ohio as of January of 25. 5,650 jobs were non-farm wage or non-salary. So that's hourly jobs. So if our unemployment rate, if there's 5,650 jobs and our unemployment rate was, and I looked and it said our fucking unemployed people is 283,000, say 230 something thousand, because the others have unemployment claims, but say 54,000 jobs or 56,000 jobs, hourly jobs. Why do we have 230 something thousand people unemployed? It don't make a lot of sense to me. Is it because companies aren't hiring these people, or are these people not trying to get jobs? You know what I mean? So, or is the companies just saying, look, we don't want to hire this person because of his background? You know what I mean? Because like I said, I've noticed since I've got my felony, I've had more background checks than ever in my life. But the reason I'm talking about this is because, like you said, you were looking for a job. You just applied for one as a janitor of a school. Whether you get it or not, that's neither here nor there. But the thing is, like, how many more applicants have applied for that job? You see what I'm saying? And does it say they're going to do background checks on you?
Not from what I heard on the application.
So see,
but yeah, they'll definitely do it though, because you're applying for a school job.
Yeah, and so you'll get state wages as far as like benefits or whatever. You'll get state benefits. So yeah, of course they're going to. Now, your background checks.
Yeah, they're not going to hire someone. They have to check your background if you're going in for like a school thing.
Well, I get that, but I'm saying, like, not every job does background checks.
Yeah.
But since I
was just saying, since it's like a school thing, yeah.
But
they're obviously gonna.
Well, yeah. The main reason they would do background checks is not because it's a school thing, but because it's state funded. Everything to do with the school is state funded. So any state funded job, like my sister-in-law works at, whatever, they do background checks. They're going to. But yeah, being a school, they're going to, because all the fucking mass shootings and whatever. You know, but, you know, they got to worry about who's working at their fucking schools. So, but what I'm saying is all this amounts to, like, what I'm wondering is why I get turned down for a job due to my background being drug conviction, whatever. It's not hurting anybody else. It wasn't holding somebody up with a gun. It wasn't killing nobody. Okay, and then I got somebody else I talked to that they've never had any kind of like been on probation, no kind of criminal record whatsoever. But yet they've filled out more applications than I have.
What?
Anyway, I'm done talking about that, man. We was talking about the unemployment rate, but apparently my phone did something janky and stopped recording. So now it's recording, and we were just, as I was saying, we were just talking on, you know, this podcast right now. We just touched a little bit about jobs and how there's so much unemployment, there's so many jobs, but yet companies aren't hiring people. So
how much was that did we get?
Not very much. I don't know what happened, dude. But anyway, we're back, and we're going to just talk about random shit again, dude. We talked about how, you know, unemployment, you know, you had a job at Kroger's, you had a job at McDonald's, and kids these days don't want to work. And the ones that do, you see back, you know, the next year. And like
I like what people call them now. They call them tablet kids.
Yeah.
Computer kids.
There you go.
That's the perfect explanation of them.
Like they're sitting at home on their computers.
Yeah.
Playing games, wanting to fucking, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm gonna make $1 million playing fucking COD the rest of my life.
Yeah, I mean, then let's talk about this too. Like, if you want to be a streamer, you can be a streamer, but like, I'm gonna tell you, you're not gonna make the money you think you're gonna make.
No, I
Like,
mean,
if you're doing YouTube, you might, but no, still probably not.
probably not, dude. That's why they say it's not a job.
Some YouTubers, yeah, most of what I do Twitch for is I do it for fun, and like when I do it, I'm usually hanging out with friends and talking.
Yeah,
So,
but yeah,
it's
you
more
do.
fun. It's more like fun. No, you're not there to fucking make money.
Yeah, well, I
It's
mean,
not all about money.
yeah, we have talked about it because we've mentioned how YouTubers tell you, dude, like you have people that rely on us as subscribers to their channels and shit to like gift them or, you know, subscribe and pay money for that subscription. And without that, they wouldn't be able to afford their bills if that's all they did. You know what I mean? So you got some that do that and they bitch and whine and cry because they can't fucking pay their bills. Well, it's not meant to be a job. It's meant to have fun and do whatever when you stream or get YouTube, like us doing a podcast. This to me is fun. It's
I also worried about this next generation. If everybody's gonna start paying for OF, y'all have like the other websites you use. Like, what are you paying for something? Like, get your dumb ass on like PH and the other, and every other website is free. What the fuck y'all doing?
Yeah.
Y'all wanna sit here and pay for OF? Get your dumb ass on PH. Like, what are y'all getting paid for some bitch?
So, I mean, like me, I do this podcast just because it's fun and we get together, we hang out, we talk bullshit. That's why it's the Daily Bullshitters. It's nothing but bullshit that we talk about.
It's just how much money they're fucking making on OF. It's some bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
They're making more than most people make doing fucking regular job.
Yeah.
A day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but if
Not
they're
all of them, but like, yeah.
but if
a
they're
lot
not
of them
if they're
are
not
making
having
it.
fun doing it, dude, if they're just strictly doing it for a job, then they're not
Yeah,
they're not
it's not
having
gonna be as
fun.
fun.
Because then they're worried, am I going to get this amount of money this month or this week or whatever? You know, they might not make the same salary as somebody else working a job. You know what I mean? So you got to look at anything to do on the computer, unless you're like a software tech, unless you come up with platforms and stuff like that you create, and stuff, you're really not making money in the computer industry. So
Unless you're doing like tech jobs.
that's what I mean, software tech or
That's what
something.
you just said. I just couldn't tell what you said.
Like when you go and set up a company's software, so for their security software, you set that up, you're gonna make bank, dude.
That's a great paying job.
But I'm saying sitting at home doing like creating like fucking a platform like a YouTube channel, things like that, you're not gonna make much money. Do what?
Yeah, you said YouTube. I was just elaborating Twitch and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna make money off of that. Just
making it.
Just think. Most of these streamers aren't even really there. Most of them that you probably know probably have a job.
Oh, they do. That's why I said
They just don't tell you about that. You should know that they have, because if you're thinking that you're gonna make that amount of money doing streams, I mean, I know some of them do get like that good amount of money, but like you're not always gonna get that amount of money.
No, you gotta have a good stream. You got a good channel to stream on. You gotta have something the viewer likes to see, dude. Whether it's gaming, whether it's doing comedy, whether it's doing podcasts.
Then again, you also have to worry about what other people like. For me, I just do this because I do what I like to do.
Yeah.
I play everything on Twitch. Well, not everything, but like all of the games that I like to play. I'm not here playing what other people want me to play, because it's not my job to play that.
I get it. That's what I mean. Like, you're not my thing is like with all the jobs out there, and you got all these people streaming and doing all this stuff. There's a lot of jobs out there, whether it's your generation, or other generations. You know, like my generation of people aren't sitting on a computer, you know what I mean, making fucking streams, dude. Whether I try to do a podcast on YouTube or not, that's just for fun, dude. That's like just to put out random thoughts and see what people think. But at the same time, your generation is like more apt to try and play games on and make money off of it, and they got gaming fucking.
Yeah, that's what I thought about when I was younger, but now I know that it's not really possible.
I mean, they got schools you can go to learn, to invent your own games, create your own games and shit.
But then again, that's like creating the games.
Yeah,
it's not like you're playing them. Or you could be like a game tester. Those get paid pretty good, actually.
I mean, honestly, like, dude told me, like, I watched the thing earlier and I just commented on it and he commented back, but he said, this is just a side hustle. He said, I test games to make side money. He said, I do DoorDash, he said, and I work a job. That's what he told me. Because testing games doesn't pay the fucking bills. You know what I mean? Now, if you're a kid who lives at home with your parents, why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a great side hustle. I would love to sit here and play games and make money, dude. But at the same time, that's not going to pay my fucking rent, my fucking electric, my gas, my cable. You know what I mean? So.
No, but we wish it would.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, it'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, then again, you would eventually get fucking bored of it, like you do with all jobs.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I play fucking.
Yeah, eventually it will feel like a job.
I mean, I play fucking COD, and I get bored with that. I play other games, I get bored with it. Gaming just isn't something I like to do.
Recently, you have been talking about trying to find new games.
Yeah.
Because everything is just, what the hell is that? Everything is just boring now.
Yeah, but outside of like gaming, dude, like you go work a job and it's a 40-hour week job. Unless you really dig what you're doing, dude, you're always looking for something else, or should be. Like I was told once, don't ever like not be hungry. So stay hungry, because as long as you stay hungry, you're always going to be finding something better, like something pays more, or something that has better benefits. Whatever. So you're always wanting to figure out a way to better your life in some way. And outside of us gaming, outside of us working a 40-hour job, or even looking for a job, how is our lives right now? Like mine is not the greatest, dude. I'm not gonna say that I don't love my life, because I do, but like I can make things better for myself. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I could honestly do better things to make things better for myself. It's just, I have to have a means to do that. And in order to live a better life, I have to have money coming in to pay my bills. And then that extra money, I could take and go on a hiking trip. I could take and, do whatever. Or I could just, like, go do that stuff without money. I could hike without money. I could camp without money. I play disc golf without money. And that's all stuff that I enjoy. I enjoy doing that stuff. But then when as long as you got a way to pay your bills and you have this extra income or whatever, doing a side hustle, whatever, or just not having an extra income, but any money you got left, you take and feed yourself. You take and put gas in your car. You buy cigarettes, drink beer, whatever you do. You got that's like your lifestyle. See what I'm saying? So like, if all that goes away one day because you lose your job and now you can't live that lifestyle, you know what I mean? That's something you got to think about, because then you're like, oh man, now I'm broke. I don't have gas in my car. I don't have the beer I drink, the cigarettes I smoke. So what do I got to do? I got to go find a way to get that income back. And the only way to do that is to find a job. Now, whether you find a job like me, I just went and found out I might get a fucking job packing boxes for a company here in town, and they're only going to pay me $16 an hour. That is not a livable wage by no means, dude. You know what I mean? $16 an hour might pay like you know, when it's all said and done, it might pay like the electric, gas, cable, internet, whatever, but it's not going to pay your rent with that. It's not going to pay gas in your car to get to work every fucking day. And you definitely aren't going to buy groceries. You know what I mean?
Unless you got like a couple of dollars left, maybe you got a dollar store, which those aren't even dollar stores anymore.
Yeah, but
now they're like $3 stores. Now.
Yeah. But, so if you figure up like 16 times 40, dude, like right here, I could put 16 times 40, and this is exactly what I would come up with as far as like 0, 2, 4, $600 a week, and that's before taxes. Okay,
that's not great.
No, dude, that's shit, dude. But you figure that.
That's like, isn't that less than your rent already?
Yeah, $600 is what I pay a month for rent. So if I made $600 a week,
that's exactly your rent.
So yeah,
the only thing you'd be able to pay for is rent.
Yeah, because
it,
it would be less than my rent once they take taxes. So, you know, then I gotta like separate 2 checks for rent, and then the other 2 checks have to go for the rest of my bills, plus gas, plus groceries. You know what I mean? So that's one of them jobs where you're living above your means. because everything you do is going to be like, oh, do I have the money to pay my rent? So you're gonna sit and think about that the whole time. You know what I mean? So
I make rent this week.
For one person to live these days, man, I always said, like, when you wake up in the morning, put your shoes on to go to work, or at night, whatever, just for you to go to work, you should make $25 an hour. Every human being should be worth $25 an hour, regardless of shape, size, you know what I mean, smarts, whatever. We should make $25 an hour, dude. And you know, with all the companies that we have just in Ohio, everywhere around the United States, dude, you got companies that could pay their employees a lot more, dude. And they just don't want to because they're used to a lifestyle that they live. And that takes us, hiring us more than what they do would take away from their lifestyle. And they don't care about us, you know, in that aspect. So, you know what I mean? That's just something I wanted to touch on about the unemployment and shit. I just think it's fucked up that, like me, I'll work my ass off, dude. Like, if I get a job and, you know, I'm told to do something, I do it. Now, granted, I have a fucking ADD issue, man, where, like, I get sidetracked a lot, but I'm getting help with that right now. So, you know what I mean? Like, but the thing is, like, I will get up and go to work every day as long as I'm getting paid a decent wage, you know. But if not, I go get a job, and the whole time I'm there, I'm like, man, this job sucks. They don't pay shit. They treat people like shit. You know what I mean? And that's something I gotta get past. You know what I mean? Because, like, I should always be looking for something better. But the job I have at hand, I should just be thinking it's a job. And I'm there for 8 hours. I need to do what I need to do for 8 hours. What's asked of me for 8 hours, and then go home. And that's where I've had a lot of issues. Now you're a kid. You just applied for a janitor job at a school. You've had a couple jobs, Kroger's, McDonald's, whatever. You know what I mean? But when you get that job, depending on what they're paying you, you live at home with dad, but you're still going to have to pay bills. I mean, eventually you're going to be out on your own. You're going to have to pay bills. Now, when you get that job, is it going to be the kind of money that pays your bills? You see what I'm saying? So you always got to look at that. And
maybe 17 is my thing.
No, it's
1750.
I mean, that's not bad at your age, living with your dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but getting paid that if you didn't live with your dad and you lived on your own,
it would be terrible.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I think, you know, jobs in Ohio plus every other state should basically, you know what I mean, they should pay a livable wage, dude. And whether you go by, people say, oh, well, the fucking minimum wage went up, you know, $1, $2. No, dude, that doesn't matter because the minimum wage goes up, but so does our cost of living. And they're not equal. They try to equal each other out, but they never equal out, dude. Like, when one goes up, the other shouldn't go up. Like, if our living wage, like our fucking minimum wage goes up $3, our fucking food costs and shit shouldn't go up $3. It should just stay where it's at. and it should get,
government increase.
Yeah. I mean, it should honestly, your livable wage should be well above what your fucking cost of living is, dude. But it's not. It's nowhere close.
I don't think it ever will be, though.
No, but that would make it so we don't have so many families needing to fucking count on welfare and all that. And they're talking about cutting all that shit out. So how are they going to cut that shit out, man, if when they're the ones creating the problem? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they told us they didn't create COVID.
They
Who
did.
the fuck's gonna believe them dumb fucks?
Everything's
That's Sleepy Joe's dumbass in there. I don't believe you.
Everything's created by man somehow, bro.
Yeah.
Man ruins everything, dude.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think the Earth is? The Earth is pretty much a living organism, and hurricanes, wildfires, all this other shit that Mother Earth creates,
It's supposed
it's to get rid of us because we are the virus to Earth.
That's what it's all going to happen again and again and again until it's no more, dude. And how long's that going to last before fucking planet being a star just burns out? So you gotta think planets are like fucking stars, dude. Eventually they burn out, dude. You know what I mean? So, and we're just helping it. You know what I mean? We're just helping create more problems and more problems and more problems.
Yep.
And we should be fixing the problems, you know what I mean? Instead of creating them.
Yeah, like throwing sewage into the water.
But we don't have enough people. We don't have enough rich people, dude, to get rich by
dumping oil and all the other shit they used to dump into it.
Yeah, we don't
That's
have.
really bad.
The biggest thing is we got so many rich people, dude, that could fucking take $1, just $1 out of their paycheck, and fucking $1 out of their daily fucking paychecks, dude, and fucking. That way, and put it towards one thing, and that would fix that one problem after, within so long. Just like our national debt, everybody's always complaining. The government's always saying, we're going to take care of the national debt by cutting this, and cutting this. No. The best thing I can tell you with our national debt is legalize drugs across the board. Federally. Not just statewide, but federally. And tax the fuck out of them like you do everything else. And, you know what I mean? Once you do that, our national debt would be paid off in a matter of probably a year.
Who do you think paid for us that one year? The government didn't have any drug dealers.
That's what I mean. Like honestly, dude, like Oregon, everybody says they fucked up or whatever, dude. They legalized drugs across the board, but dude, their crime rate went down. Their fucking suicide went down. Like all this stuff went down, dude, because they were letting people do what people wanted to do. They weren't fucking throwing them in jail. They weren't fucking, you know what I mean? They were just letting them do what they wanted to do. So if you fucking want to take care of the national debt, you want to take care of population control, you want to take care of this and that, just legalize everything across the board and let people be people. People will either eradicate themselves because they'll continue to do stuff in a stupid way, or they'll
OD.
they'll OD over and over and over, or they'll just get smart and be like the kid with the cookie jar. You tell a kid that he can't have a cookie out of the cookie jar, and he steals all the cookies. Now you tell a kid like, hey man, eat as many cookies as you want. So then that kid does that, and he's sick to his stomach, throwing up, whatever, dude. And he learns his lesson. You don't see him fucking mounting them cookies down like that anymore.
He's
You know what I'm
he's an
saying?
idiot. It's like, no, I'm eating more cookies.
Like I know my boy Finley, that boy, man, he'll eat something, dude, and then he'll be like, I'm full, Dad, and he won't touch it, dude. And like if he eats too much of something, he won't touch that food again for fucking days, dude, because it upset his belly, and he don't like that. So you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, the easiest way to take care of something is to allow it to happen. That's the easiest way. And I just know from my experience, man, I've drank a lot in my life. I've done a lot of drugs. You know what I mean? I've I've worked a lot of jobs, and now I've learned from them experiences that everything should be in moderation. Except for a job. I mean, a job shouldn't be in moderation. You should go to work and work a job to pay your bills, your lifestyle, that suits your lifestyle. Now, I would have to say that when I was younger, I job hopped a lot, and I realized that job hopping, I made a lot more money, but I didn't have benefits. I didn't have, like a stable, basically a stable home, a stable like rent and all that. So basically, like, you want a career, I guess you want to call it a career, you want a job, to last, but you want that job to be something you enjoy doing, and a lot of companies make it very hard to enjoy a job. Now, if that company's paying you a good wage, they give you good benefits, you're probably going to enjoy your job. You know what I mean? So yeah, when it comes to the jobs and shit, man, I think that companies need to, like, look at the people better. Yeah, look at the people they're employing or going to employ, and say, hey, I'm not worried about this guy's background because something he did 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. They should say, what's he willing to do now, and how much am I willing to pay him to do that? You know what I mean?
Get on front, dickhead.
So yeah, I don't know, man. No, you're good.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, I don't care. It's all good. So I just think, like, job wise, man, we'll all find out what, find something we're, good at, and hopefully that being good at, hopefully being good at something, it pays what it's worth. So on that note, other than that, man, I ain't felt good the last couple of days. Like today, I felt like shit this morning. I started feeling better. Decided to do this podcast just because we ain't done one in a minute. And I do appreciate you.
Makes us feel better.
Yeah, I do appreciate you joining me for it, because our buddy Henny don't want to do it until Wednesday. So, it is what it is. But, today was a pretty good day, man. It's been chilly out, man. Like, you said it was hot as hell in your house, but it's been chilly outside, man. I opened all the windows of the house, man. It got cold as shit in here. So, but, I was telling my brothers, they went to Florida for a week, and I was telling them, man, like, 3 or 4 days out of the week that they was gone.
I was dead.
It rained. 3 or 4 days out of the fucking week that they was gone.
Yeah, alright, buddy. Yeah. Y'all teammates, that fun. Y'all are dumb fucks.
Yeah, this dude's gaming, man, so you're going to hear a lot of cuss words.
I mean,
yeah, it is what it is. Dumb fuckers.
I feel like everyone that plays this game is a dumb fucker.
Yeah. I am, man. I'm no good at that game, so I just play. But yeah, so anyway, it's a random fucking bullshit podcast, and we talk random bullshit. Is there anything you'd like to talk about?
Yeah.
I mean, anything on your mind?
Life, but yeah, we've already pretty much covered everything.
Yeah.
About life.
Well, that's cool, man. So, anyway, I guess then we'll call it, bro. And we'll just say, we'll end it here. And, anybody views it, thank you for our views. And, if you want to comment, leave comments. We're always asking you guys to leave comments. We haven't had any yet, but that's okay. Somebody eventually will comment on our shit. So, I thank you, Aiden, for joining me in this podcast. And I'm glad we could, get another one done. So, to all you viewers out there that follow us, thank you for following us. And again, we look forward to hearing from you. So throw us some comments and let us know what's going on with us that you might think we need to talk about, or might help our podcast do a little better. Outside of that, man, I hope y'all have a good day. And I let you know let all of you know now that, you know, we do greatly appreciate you, and I'll send love out to all of you from this podcast. So just look us up on the Daily Bullshitter Podcast on YouTube, and you can find a link on my TikTok. You can find a link on Discord. You know what I mean? So we have
what's the link there in Discord?
Yeah, we have a Daily Bullshitter link on Discord. And, you know, you'll see Aiden, Henny, or myself, Morgan. I go by Morgasm, my game name. So just...
I go by Meek.
Yeah, he goes by Meek. And then Blackout Gaming, whatever. I forget all our game names, man. So, you know, I
my Call of Duty, but...
Yeah. So anyway, thank you again, guys, for checking us out. And we look forward to seeing your comments. Aiden, I guess this is it, man. So I'm going to sign out. You have anything to say before we go?
Have a great rest of your daily bullshit.
There you go. Enjoy your daily bullshit, guys. I will holler at you. Daily Bullshitters are out.